Good evening. I'm Enari Darklor and welcome to Churikua.
A few years ago, I lost my sister Emmanuel, a victim of the inexplicable. She was afraid, and even thought she wasn't afraid of anyone. She couldn't overcome what was in store of her. She was one of the many victims of what we now call the beast of Gévaudan. In late 1764, Emmanuel went out to tend our sheep, afraid. Since the beast was on the prowl, we were all afraid, but she had to go. Every day since the first attack, we'd live in fear. We'd be next. And just as we began to realize it was getting late and Emmanuel hadn't arrived, that's when we feared the worst. She had been accompanied by a shepherd, a boy barely a year younger than her named Tia. He arrived with his father, saying that a huge wolf with gray fur streaked with black had attacked Emmanuel. While she was being attacked, he fled without looking back. As they'd agreed, they'd protect each other, and if one of them was attacked, the other was to escape without hesitation, without looking back, and bringing the bad news to their families. The next day, they went to retrieve her body. They recognized her by the petticoat I had embroidered her by myself. There was no doubt about it. It was her. I couldn't see her. Mom wouldn't let me. But from what I was told, the creature had left her unrecognizable. And from what I heard, it had torn out her head and heart. In the summer of that year, a shepherdess named Gévaudan was attacked by the beast that took her life. She was the first victim. We assumed it was a wolf. Since there were several in the region, generally they don't tend to attack anyone during the day, unless you provoke them or venture too deep into the forest. Many said that based on the description, it must have been a beast rather than a wolf. That's how it got. Groups were organized and hunts were launched to track it down, including a unit from His Majesty's Guard. But not to avail. They killed wolves, yet we remain afraid. The beast continued to stalk us. Many died, and their names still up on a mazy belief that scholars, authorities, and even parishes kept compelling with no end in sight. Until in 1765, one of the king's arquebusiers killed a wolf. They even took it to Versailles, and we celebrated. We were happy that we could finally go out without fear of the beast. The attack had finished, but few months later, there were more attacks. It was already an utterly deplorable and harrowing task to identify a new victim, and on top of that, to collect the remains, which were in such a deplorable state that we weren't even allowed to comfort of seeing them one last time in their coffins. That's how we lived, in fear. Every time someone went out, we entrusted them to God. We prayed before leaving, and upon returning, we gave thanks that we were still alive. As you well imagine, I was the one in charge of tending to the flock. Once these attacks had ended, like Emmanuel, I was accompanied by Pierre, and after the attacks resumed, we made the same agreement. Whoever the victim might be, we had to flee without hesitation, without looking back, to warn the family of the tragedy. Our disappointment was so great that we couldn't understand how they had only caught the beast with something. Had they caught the right beast? Was there anyone or others? And of course, the hunt continued and the victims kept falling just the same. Until in 1767, accompanied by Pierre, we went out and the sheep, but on our way back, we heard growls coming from among the trees. We tried to protect ourselves as best as we could, since we didn't know where it was. We thought we heard a wolf, but when we looked more closely, we saw it. It wasn't a wolf, it was a beast. It landed nimbly in two legs, deepened, and before we had time to react, it killed a sheep and pounced on Pierre. At that moment, I ran. I ran with all my might, without hesitation, without looking back, even as I heard Pierre's cries of pain and agony. My eyes filled with tears, but I ran straight home. I told them what I seen, and accompanied by my father, we went to Pierre's house to break the bad news to them. Shortly after the attack and Pierre's funeral, the Marquis d'Avchy organized a large hunt, and John Still, a peasant from our community well known for his skill with weapons and his hunting prowess, was the one who killed the beast on the slopes of Montmoucher. How can I be so sure? Well, because when it was dead, the creature, which they describe as a huge dog, so they couldn't say for sure whether it was a dog or a wolf, was found to have human remains in its stomach. Of course, they didn't want to make the same mistake and give us false hope all over again. It's a shame it took so long to finally kill the creature. How many victims were there? How many wolves and how many innocent people died because of it? Now, peace has finally come, but it's an empty peace. Without those loved ones who, through no fault of their own, deserving neither it nor fearing it, were the worst victims.